Hey, how's it going, Sam? This is a quick demo video for you for your KR Luke Hero, all right, installed with the Goth Master chassis. So we're going to go over my desk. I'll show you how to operate it, what I did to it, and we'll be hanging on to this until I make your recessed blade. Thanks, man. All right, Sam, let's go over your KR Luke Hero. As you know, you and I just spoke this morning. I'm going to be making you a recessed blade because I didn't plan on making you one originally. I had to order the parts this morning. So we won't be doing a blade demo. I just ordered those parts right after you and I talked. And as soon as I have that made, I will send you a short video over Facebook Messenger showing that the blade works. But as you can see, it's set up for a recessed blade there. You've got your KR Sabers lit PCB. Blade retention right here. It's a 2-button setup. You'll find your switches under here. So power right here, auxiliary right here. These switches are adjustable. You have to adjust the height in order to get the switch box just right. I'm going to take this off real quick and show you. That's your switch, and then this is your switch right here. Each one of these little black tubes has a long set screw in there and a spring down at the bottom, and you have to spend some time adjusting that to get it just right. You don't want it too high, or this piece won't fit in, and you don't want it too low, of course, because it won't actuate. So also, if you have those too low, you could damage your switch PCB, which I'll show you here in a second. So I'm going to slide that in. I'm going to slide this in, and we'll leave it like that. Okay, one thing about this saber, and it's pretty consistent with all of these that I do, because this is probably maybe the 4th or 5th one of the master chassis that I've done on this saber. The pommel section is very tight. So let's unscrew this and I will show you what I mean. All right. We're going to go ahead and carefully slide this out. The pommel is extremely tight onto this chassis. All right. I went through and I sanded it. I didn't like doing that too much because I was taken away from the look of the chassis, but I didn't really have much of a choice. I had thought about maybe chucking this on my lathe and taking some material out of here, but the threading might be very hard to see on camera. But the underneath of that threading, as compared to the idea of this, there's not very much material there. I was afraid if I went in here and hugged anything out, I would cut the threads off. So that was not an option. All right. The only thing I could do was sand this. So we're going to work our way through that. This is a removable battery setup. This is your battery. So I'll make sure it stays in the saber. Spring side is the leaf spring down here. And of course your positive is this piece right here. All right. So we're going to put the battery back in, clip it down. You've got a kill switch back here. This is the provided switch PCB that comes with this kit. So there's your auxiliary switch, there's your power switch, and your red and green LEDs right here. All right, moving up here, you've got an OLED screen. I'll probably go through and I'll program some different things on here before I finish making your blade, because I forgot to do that this morning. But I wanted to get this demo out to you since you and I were talking about it. So I'll put some animations on there for you. But you've got your crystal chamber. I did put a piece of diffusion right here because you can take this off. It's on here with magnets, so it holds your crystal. I got a piece of diffusion right here. If you just take this off if you ever want to get to your board. All right, so I do apologize for the wires on top. I had to have a few there to put this little LED strip. There's a 6-pixel LED strip on top of the board so I could light this piece. All right, access to your SD card, your micro USB. There's a little Neopixel accent for your crystal. If you don't need to get to the board, you don't ever need to take this off. You'll never see the wires on top of the board, and everything will be fine. I did get the 5 sound fonts that you sent me put onto the saber in the order that you wanted. All right, you had a nice mix of K-Sith and Kyberphonic Luke fonts, so very cool. All right, you've got your second KR Sabers lit PCB there. Now you'll notice there's a rail on this chassis. The rail starts right here where this gap is, comes straight down. You can see it riding here, here. It stops right here. That is for a set screw that's in the saber. Now you'll notice your plunger switches are sticking down. You can see the 2 that are right here kind of even with this control box. They're exactly even on, actually. Those are your plunger switches. This one that's off to the side, that's down a little bit lower, is the guide grub screw for the chassis, and that needs to ride along here and then lock into place. All right, so we need to be very careful when we're putting that in. Come over here. You want to be very careful. Make sure that you find that grub screw. Push it all the way in. You can flip your kill switch from here. Now to lock the chassis in place, you push the chassis all the way in and then you turn it counterclockwise. That locks it in place. All right, just like that. However, to lock the chassis in place, you have to turn it counterclockwise, but because the pommel is so tight on the chassis, when we start screwing it in clockwise, we're going to unclock the chassis. So this is how we get away from that, or fix that problem rather. Come over here. Carefully put this on. Start screwing it in. You can see your red and green LEDs going, right? Start screwing this in all the way. When you lock it down tight, now remember we had to twist the chassis counterclockwise to lock it in. So once the pommel's all the way tight, just give it a little turn back. Now we're perfectly lined up on the switches again. Your red and green going there for the cave scene LEDs. We'll hit power. Now we've got power to the emitter. Everything's working like it should. We hit auxiliary here. Every one of these has a different soundtrack, so to play the soundtrack, do a long press on the power when the saber's off. Alright. Do another long press to turn it off.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Go to the next sound font by hitting auxiliary. Next one.
May the Force be with you.
Hello, friend. I'm looking for Skywalker.
Master Skywalker.
Now I believe we're back to where we started. All right, so when we want to break this guy back down, we'll do exactly what we did at the beginning. Unscrew the pommel. All right, very gently shimmy out your chassis. All right, you want to grab your chassis from the black part here, the SLS material, and just kind of twist your pommel off there. We'll hit power. There is the battery meter. This is a brand new battery, so you're going to want to charge that. All right, come over here and flip the switch. Kills power like it should. All right, so we're going to go ahead and for now, I will put this back into the saber for safekeeping so nothing happens to it. As you and I discussed, I'm going to go ahead and let me put this on real quick. I'm going to go ahead and hang on to this until your blade material comes in, and then I'll make your blade. It should take me only like 45 minutes or so once all the material comes in. I'll make your blade and I'll send everything out to you at the same time. All right, thanks, man.